Put up or shut up. I think that's a good term to describe 10 racing drivers in NASCAR and ARCA going into 2023. There are drivers driving for new teams. There are some drivers that are trying to improve from a dreadful 2022 campaign, and others just have to prove something, and that is by winning. Otherwise, their career may be on the rocks for good. So, without further ado, here are 10 drivers that I feel like must deliver this season or else. Starting at the bottom of the racing ladder, we got the National ARCA division, with Jesse Love being the one guy that must deliver. He had a very disappointing 2022 campaign in the sense of he didn't finish in the top 10. Yes, he drove a limited schedule, but Taylor Gray still ended up in the top 10, and so did Sammy Smith. But Jesse Love just did not live up to the hype that he had going out west when he won those 2 championships with Bill McAnally Racing. He's more known for the incident with Sammy Smith at Toledo in the finale more than the one win he got at Springfield that is also overshadowed by the horrific crash involving Bryce Hagenberg and Buddy Kofoid. Literally, when you look at the ARCA roster in 2023 on the national level, who do you got? Who's going to win the championship? Tell me who's going to win the championship out of that pipeline. Who? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Is this the year Brad Smith's going to finally win the championship? No. This is Jesse Love's championship to lose. If he does not win the championship, absolute fail of a season. He's got to deliver. To the Truck Series, Christian Eckes with McAnally Hegelman Racing. Oh, yeah, that's the actual name of the Truck Series program. It's not Bill McAnally Racing. Sorry, folks. But after a rather putrid season with ThorSport a year ago, he got let go, but there's some sort of lease of life from going from one team to another. And this season, Eckes is replacing Derek Kraus in the 19 truck. Here's the thing about Christian Eckes. He can be a good driver, but he's got to really impress. He's got to step up his A game. Because there's a reason why he's no longer a ThorSport, because he just didn't deliver compared to the other drivers. I don't know, Matt Crafton, Ben Rhodes, and Ty Majeski, the latter of the two made it to the championship four, and of course, Crafton is a 3-time Truck Series champion. Eckes has got to win for that team. Do something that Derek Kraus wasn't able to do, and that is win, and make it to the playoffs. Something that Kraus also failed to do in that 19 truck. Speaking of ThorSport, Hailie Deegan. I said it once, and I'm going to say it again. Luck needs to be on her side. She needs luck, first of all. ThorSport are going through yet another transition. They go from Toyota for 2 years, and now they're going back to Ford. In large part, so Deegan can have a place she can call home and maybe an identity in the sport. Because her tenure with DGR, now known as Tricon Garage, is just forgettable, frustrating, and pain. Literal pain. Because Deegan was not in the top 15 in points at all in 2022. Matt DiBenedetto ended up being in the top 15 all season long. We're coming up 5 years since she won at Meridian in 2018. Yeah, it feels like a long time ago at this point, don't you think? Deegan must make the playoffs, must win. Hell, she's got Rick Lushes as her crew chief. Lushes was Ben Rhodes' crew chief the past couple of years. That led him to a championship in 21 and a runner-up points finish in 2022. The combination and the race team that she's in, she's got to deliver. This is a team that's made it to the championship for one championship multiple times. There's no reason Deegan misses the playoffs. There's no reason at all, because her stock isn't where it was going into 2020. Nowhere near where it was going into 2020. We're in 2023 now. She must deliver. Chase Purdy at Kyle Busch Motorsports. Like ThorSport, Kyle Busch Motorsports are making a manufacturer change, in large part of Busch going to Richard Childress Racing, powered by Chevrolet. Gone are Toyotas, in comes Chevy. This is going to be a weird year for KBM. Let's just put it that way. Chase Purdy has not set the world on fire. He did better than most people give credit to when he drove for Hattori this past season, albeit he did miss the race at Daytona. Purdy has shown some promise, but he's not a guy that is going to impress everyone. He didn't have a great ARCA career, and so far Trucks has been mid at best. He's now with a team that's won multiple races, multiple races. He's won championships. I fear that Chase Purdy could have a similar path to Jason Leffler in terms of he might be one guy that I fear he's going to be let go mid-season if he does not impress or deliver. I mean, look, I'm even surprised that Todd Gilliland and Harrison Burton were not let go at any point in 2019, considering how Kyle was not impressive both of their efforts at all. I'm going to say it again, it's going to be a weird year for KBM. Chase Purdy must deliver. He's got to at least be a frequent top 10 performer. This is KBM we're talking about, people. To the Xfinity Series, John Hunter Nemechek. He had a real disappointing 2022 season with KBM. Real disappointing and a frustrating one at that. Getting involved in multiple incidents and then nowhere near making the championship for in the season that he should have made the championship for. A lot of people wrote him as a favorite to win the Truck Series championship. He just did not deliver. He had a real disappointing year. And I'm running out of patience with him in terms of having a shot to get back to the Cup Series with greener pastures compared to when he drove for Front Row Motorsports. He's driving for Joe Gibbs. John Hunter Nemechek just got to fill that void that Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, and AJ Allmendinger left behind. He's got to. And I feel like with him driving full-time, he's going to be Cole Custer's greatest threat. Everybody's saying, oh, Cole Custer's going to win the championship. No. John Hunter Nemechek is going to be the guy that's going to really put a number on Cole Custer. He's got to deliver. Sam Mayer is another one that's got to deliver, but first and foremost, he's got to win, period. He came very close at Talladega, only to be nipped by AJ Allmendinger. At least we got a memorable celebratory moment out of it, so there's that. But Mayer's got to win. I mentioned him multiple times on my channel that he's the guy. He's going to be a guy that you got to keep an eye on, forced to be reckoned with. But the problem is Ty Gibbs surprisingly overshadowed Mayer left and right. And it's still astonishing that Ty Gibbs is now viewed as the guy of the future of NASCAR. Not Sam Mayer like I thought he was going to be. If he does not win, then we're seeing another Michael Annett in terms of being mid. I hope not, because I do think Mayer is a caliber of a racer. Jeff Burton is going to be driving for Jordan Anderson after a disastrous, controversial year at Our Motorsports in 2022. The less to be said about that tenure, the better off we'll be. Let's just say that Jeff Burton is mostly known for his confrontations with race car drivers and throwing a tirade, right or wrong, more than his performances. And that is a darn shame because, like I mentioned about a lot of drivers, Jeff Burton has potential. He has promise. If Jeb doesn't finish in the top 20 in points, point of no return for him in terms of being, in the eyes of some folks, a late bloomer that could be a future Cup driver in the sense of having good equipment. I don't count that tenure that he had in Cup where he was on average 9 laps down every single race. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about his tenure at BK Racing. We don't. We just don't. Let's move on. Let's move on to the other Burton before I fluff Jeb and Harrison left and right. Harrison Burton in the Cup Series. The first third of the season was an absolute train wreck. It seems like every week at least one of his cars got destroyed or had some sort of damage. It didn't matter the session. It didn't matter the time of day. Season got a little bit better, but he finished outside the top 25 in points. He barely beat Todd Gilliland by 1 spot. He's driving for the Wood Brothers. And let's bring this up too. What happened to Harrison Burton? Remember 2020 when he was a force to be reckoned with? He was winning left and right. I thought, oh, maybe that his time in the truck series is just more or less that he's more of a car guy than a truck guy. There are some drivers that do well in trucks that just can't deliver in the full body stock car. That is the shape of a car, not a truck. 2021 was disappointing. He didn't win in Joe Gibbs' Xfinity equipment. 2022 goes to the Wood Brothers in the season where if you want to be a Cup rookie, that was the year to do it. It seems to have to look up for Harrison Burton. No questions asked. Ryan Preece, Stewart-Haas Racing. I'm surprised that he didn't end up winning a lot more Truck Series races. He's only won 2 in the past 2 seasons with DGR, and both of them took place in Nashville. When he was driving for Rick Ware Racing, he looked good. He looked really good. I mean, this is Rick Ware Racing we're talking about here. When he was in the 15 car, you expect some good results and good performances. Then again, Rick Ware Racing did improve a little bit this past season, and with them aligning with RFK, they got to get more better, don't you think? But for Priest, this is the opportunity he's been waiting for. A good race team. A team that has been proven to win a lot of races. Sure, SHR are on a skid. They're not where they were back in 2018 when all the cars seem to be contenders for really good results. Even Eric Almirola, mind you. Priest, this is the year to do it. He's got to really showcase that, yeah, Cole Custer is just not cup material, but Ryan Priest is. Priest's tenure at JTG Dory Racing was a hot mess. And hopefully him and the 41 will whitewash all of it. Speaking of whitewashing, Alex Bowman must deliver in 2023. Remember back in the day when Bowman was viewed as just a guy that should have been bigger, but because he drove for BK Racing, he's just a what if and a flop in the Cup Series. That is ages ago. Let's not forget, he won 4 races in 2021, but I still feel like he was the weakest Hendrick driver that year. I still think that William Byron was the better driver, yet even if the wins didn't show. And in 2022, I still feel that way. I still felt that way because, yeah, Bowman won at Vegas, but from Spring Darlington onwards, like Byron, faded away into obscurity, non-factor for wins, didn't have strong results. And I don't even factor in the incident at Texas that sidelined him for 5 out of the last 6 races. I don't factor it in that equation. Even before that happened, he was nowhere near a contender. He was like there. He was there in the Cup field. Then set the world on fire. Was not good. It's a shame. And with Greg Ives out of the picture, in comes Blake Harris, who done a marvelous job with Michael McDowell. This is a rebuild year that gotta showcase that Bowman is actually a really good Cup driver. I feel like, yeah, 2021 is a breakthrough, but I feel like 2023 has got to be the true breakthrough year for him in terms where he is a frequent competitor for race wins and top 5s. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson are up there. They're like all the way to the top of the echelon. And then there's William Byron and Alex Bowman down 5-10 stories. That's not how it's supposed to look for Hendrick Motorsports. But let's not forget 2009 when you had the top 3 out of the 4 drivers finish in the top 3 in points, with Dale Jr. nowhere near in the picture. And I don't think he even finished in the top 20 in points, if I recall correctly. Bowman must deliver. Cut and dry. He's got to be a guy that's going to be a championship for contender. I still feel like he's that guy that could be a championship for contender someday, but 2022 really exposed Bowman of being a guy that just good but not great by Hendrick standards. On that note, I hope you understand why I feel the way I feel about these 10 drivers, because at the end of the day, nothing is forever. If they don't deliver, those seats could be granted to drivers that are as deserving or more worthy. And then again, there are some that probably will get it because they have the money and the grand moolah, so they obviously get the right by default. But yeah, those are the 10 drivers that's just got to put up or shut up in 2023 in some shape or form. Some is just win a race, some is just to finish at a reasonable points result. Until we meet again, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know where to follow me, you know the thing. Support my works, support my Patreon, and all that jazz. Until then, catch you guys later. You know what? Scratch Jesse Love from this category. Riley Herbst, get in the damn playoffs. Jeez. Please be someone more known than what Hannah Newhouse called you, which is total farce in my book. I don't know how. Anyways. Just look somewhat decent as a teammate of Cole Custer. Try to. Who am I kidding? Nobody has expectations for Riley Hurst, and that is a darn shame.